Today we're going to be talking about gunfights, getting more kills, and not going negative. First things first, before we get into the gameplay, for those on keyboard and mouse, if you haven't already, go into your settings, and then go into controller setting or control settings and turn off uniform infantry aiming. And then you also want to turn off zoom transition sensitivity smoothing. I feel like a lot of people don't know that, especially when it comes to playing Battlefield casually. A lot of people don't actually know that you need to turn that off because it literally gets rid of your raw mouse input and it puts on mouse smoothing, which makes it a lot harder to aim and a lot more annoying. I don't recommend copying any of my other any settings that I have, but what I recommend doing is going into the range and testing out custom zoom sensitivities for each zoom variation in the game. These are the ones that help me, but I don't recommend copying these because they're not going to help you on your sensitivity. I play on 10 sensitivity at 800 DPI. Totally irrelevant because it's what is good for you. Yeah, it's just like a small look at the settings before we start, because you need to be comfortable with how you're aiming, and that doesn't need to be something on the forefront of your mind, especially going into a game where you want to end up winning more gunfights and getting more kills, because there's a lot more that you need to think about when playing. So this video is going to kind of be like me just talking through my thoughts and highlighting some key points that I focus on when I play, so that I end up winning more gunfights, and highlighting spots where I'm a little more aware than usual and what to pay attention to when certain things happen. So within the first few seconds of any game, I usually give myself like 2 to 3 deaths where I kind of allow the enemy to kill me just so I can understand how they play and where they're playing. But a main thing that I like to focus on when playing is I always tend to play around cover. I hate playing out in the open unless I'm just being annoying. So I always try to find a lane that gets me to the most cover possible, and that usually leads to another kill. And pre-aiming is such a huge factor, and that's something that you learn when you play a tactical shooter like Counter-Strike or Rainbow Six or Valorant for some of you guys. I always make sure that I have my crosshair ready for like an around the corner play, or to see if someone's going to jump around the corner and kill me, so that I don't really need to aim. It's more so I just need to aim in and continue looking in the same location because that's where the guy decided to come from. Another thing that I do that I feel like most people really don't do in Battlefield is pay attention heavily to the radar on the bottom left of the screen. It helps a lot, and it makes it a lot more, or it makes you a lot more efficient at figuring out a play, especially in the downtime. Like right here, I'm just crouched behind the wall trying to figure out where everyone is, and I noticed that I have a lane because nobody was peeking, but there's a bunch of people on the radar, so I decided to push up to the rocks, and now that I'm safe, I can then get a double kill. Only problem is now the mortars are coming down on me, so I'm trying to find a way to be more aggressive and open up a lane for myself so that I can run in and not necessarily have any issues. But right now I'm kind of stuck because I have 2 different sides of the map staring at me, and it's really difficult to do anything at this point. So if you ever get stuck like this, especially on Liberation Peak, it's totally fine. I actually end up sitting here for like 2 to 3 minutes because there's nothing I can virtually do. The enemy team is actually doing a pretty good job of just like holding down A and not letting us gain any space. Even though I'm in A right now, I couldn't move any further because I had no information. That's something that you should pay attention to, because if you can't tell what's going on the map and you see that the point is contested, there's virtually nothing you can do until more people show up or it's contested. I noticed a lot of people end up running in blindly, and that's what gets them killed. A huge thing when it comes to Battlefield that's pretty common is the whole, I spawn in, I run 100 meters, I die. I do it again, I die. I do it again, I die. Over and over and over again, and it pushes people away from Battlefield. There's obviously ways to not have that happen. One of those ways is simply just playing on the sides of the map, trying not so hard to just run straight into the battle for no reason, especially when you don't really need to. Like, this game actually plays pretty slow when you decide to go to the sides of the map. Like right there, I just decided to run in like an idiot, and obviously I only got 1 kill and then I died. or 2 kills and then I died. Like nothing really benefited me there. I don't recommend playing like that specifically, especially like that. That is just horrible. It's pretty much how to lose every gunfight, right? A main thing when it comes to gunfights in Battlefield is positioning. If you're gonna put yourself in a position where the enemy can see you at all angles, more times than not, you're gonna end up dying to everybody on the map. It's not a 1v1 gunfight at that point when you're standing on top of a ledge expecting to only be seen by one enemy. You're going to be seen by like 20 of them. And that's why cover is such a big thing when it comes to this game, especially in game modes like Breakthrough. Escalation's a little easier because you don't necessarily even need to hide. You just need to be behind them. And it's actually really easy in bigger game modes like that because it's so open and free. There's a lot of flank routes in that. In Breakthrough, though, there are none, which is why I'm focusing on Breakthrough in this game, because it's the hardest mode to play out of all the modes in the game, making it the hardest to actually not die as often and get as many kills as possible. And I understand that some of the stuff that I'm talking about can seem out of touch for a certain player base, but I promise you it's not. It's very simple. A lot of this is just thinking through before you do something, which we do every day. And I understand that a lot of people don't want to have to do that when they jump on a video game, but in order to get better, before you can actually see progress, this is something that I've noticed over the years when I try to get better at a game specifically. I sit there and I basically think through everything, and I'll play so much worse while doing that. But after a while, those thoughts become completely second nature. And then now you can focus on something else. In Battlefield at the beginning, when the game released, my focus was, where is everyone playing on the maps? Where do I play on these maps? How do I figure out where everyone is? I try to figure out what the most common spots are, and that's essentially what I look at and where I go to at the beginning of every game. Once that became second nature, I started focusing on fixing my aim. And if you're new to the channel, that you wouldn't really understand this, but if you're not new to the channel, during the mastery badge grind for weapons, if you guys remember, there was a huge week where I basically just couldn't aim. My mouse was like half broken and whatever, which it was. And then I got a new mouse and it was good. During that week, all I was actively focusing on was my aim. So every single gunfight I would go into, I would start thinking about how I can aim at the person better and what I could do better to never lose that gunfight. That was getting me killed a lot because I was thinking about it a lot more. But once I didn't have to think about it, I started winning more gunfights. It became more second nature. And a thing that could specifically help you with your KD, which isn't important in Battlefield at all, what can really help you capture points more than your KD is if your team is heavy on the point, or not even heavy on the point. If you got like 3 or 4 people on the point and one of them is a medic and you know that he's a medic, I totally recommend not holding down the spacebar or the give up button, simply for the fact that if there's a medic within 10 meters, more times than not, they will revive you. And if you are on the point creating a crucial amount of pressure, allowing your team to advance to the next sector, don't give up. And there's so many times I'm in a game and then the guy gives up and I'm like, dude, you're already 2 and 25. You might as well just stay alive and create the pressure that we need you to create. And so right here, I chose to go to the left on the stairs because there's a lot of cover here usually, and it's pretty easy to advance forward. And my goal here is to basically cut out a lane for everybody pushing up the street. I'm not doing that great of a job doing it right here, but all you have to do is create a specific amount of pressure and people will start coming. And if you look down at the bottom left of the mini map right now, you see that there are a couple of guys with motion sensors in that house trying to cut me off. They know I'm here. They've known I'm here, and they definitely don't want me to advance, and they don't want me to open up a lane for the rest of my team, which is like a big thing with flanking in this game, especially as assault. But again, my goal here is to play around the cover and focus on my map, make sure I know where they're coming from. So I'm just waiting for this guy to make a move inside this building, and my teammate's gonna walk in. I'm pretty sure he dies. Yes. So now I know exactly where he is. I even see his gun through the door, and I blow it up and I take the building. It's all it really is gunfights, and winning gunfights, it's all about timing and utilizing your gadgets sometimes to win. Now that I've taken more space and I have the stairs, people don't really know where I am, so I can take my time. And it's not like, I mean, from watching the gameplay, you guys can tell I'm not using any like the Adderall aim. Like my aim is very relaxed right now, and I'm just looking for areas where people either A, aren't looking at me, or B, aren't jump sliding, B hopping around corners, so that it's easier to aim at them. But obviously, because I'm on such a nasty little head glitch, they can't even shoot back at me. They don't know where I am. I took 0 damage in that gunfight. Another key thing for more awareness in Battlefield is when you get shot, there's this red little arch that tells you exactly where the bullet just came from. The best thing you can do is focus on that. When you get shot, immediately look at that and try to figure out how you can hide, how you can use the cover around you to stay away from that area, so that when you fully heal, you can peek back up and look in that direction and see if you find someone. That's something that I do a lot. And if you go back to the beginning of the video, when I'm at the wall on A, you can literally see the perfect way to play around that information. I wanted to highlight that earlier, but I didn't get the chance. So what I seriously recommend is definitely figure out how to play around that. It helps so much. Honestly, during this video, I don't think there was a moment where I used better aim skills to actually kill a player. I genuinely believe that it's all positioning right here. Like none of this is aim skill, like having better aim than someone else, because they're not looking at me. None of these guys are looking at me. And immediately when they do look at me, I'm down on the floor. I'm getting behind this wall again. I'm throwing my grenades to get them out of areas that they're in. And then I flash up the scoreboard and I'm 53-8. Can be a lot of deaths for players that are really good at the game. 8 deaths right now is high. But from how aggressive I am playing and constantly fighting the team on the left side of the map by myself essentially during this game, you're gonna have high deaths. If you're not baiting the rest of your team, you're gonna die a lot. And especially if you're trying to push and create space for them, which is exactly what I'm doing. Like my goal isn't to not die, but it is to create space and to win as many gunfights as I can. And that's what I'm doing in this game. Is it working? No, because in Battlefield, you need help and you need a team behind you. And there's not one player fixes all. One squad can totally change the tide of the game, but not one player. And then obviously right there, I get my spawn beacon down. So hopefully my teammates that don't really know what's going on end up spawning on me and playing all the way on the left side of the map like this to flank and to drop as many guys as possible. Because a lot of the RPG players and javelin players come to the side of the map to take out your tank. That happens to me a lot. And I'm always over here with the tank fighting like 100 javelin players. A good thing to do is come over here as an assault or even a recon and try your best to take out a lot of these guys from down here on the hill where they're really not going to be looking for the first couple of kills, because you'll be able to end up getting like 4 to 5 kills before they actively start trying to kill you. Like right now, I got like a 5 marauder, and now they're all focusing me, and now it's becoming much harder to actually kill them. So most of them are still not looking because of the suppressor. If you want the build, I'll flash it up on screen. For the B36, it's really good. Actually, I totally recommend it. And just right there in that one life, we went from, I think, 53 kills to 62 kills. And now my team is actually advancing up onto B. We don't win this game, but just to show you that you can do as a solo player, and what I did in this game is actually useful, it's huge. I ended up getting my team up on to B, essentially, because so many people started getting off of the middle of the map and coming to all the way to the left side of the map to try and focus 2 to 3 people that were pushing up and the one guy that was killing everybody. And now we're finally fighting for B. And I mean, I'm dying, but you know, whatever. Yeah, we're 65 and done. I think by the end of the game, I have like 72 kills or something like that. I was actually a little disappointed because I was on track to hitting like 100 kills this game, and we just didn't get to the next 2 points. And that's usually how it goes. But yeah, if you're an assault player, this is like pretty much exactly what you want to focus. If you're an engineer player, it's pretty much the same thing. You want to get behind the enemy team and take out their tanks, be able to put down mines, play your position well, and you know, focus down and not go negative and not lose so many gunfights. Like right here, I'm taking my time. I'm like stutter stepping forward a lot and making sure that I'm already aiming around those corners, so that when someone does come up, I'm prepared. The only thing I have to do is aim in and shoot. And right here, look at the cover abuse right here. I'm making sure that they have no idea where I am at every moment. I'm not trying to peek the same angle. I'm trying to play head spots. That guy would have killed me if I just peeked out wide into the street, because he would have known exactly where I was and saw my whole body, which gives him a lot more areas to shoot at. Whereas right there, he couldn't shoot at anything because he had no idea what my next move was. And that's exactly what you guys need to start doing when playing Battlefield in order to win a lot more gunfights. If you want like an aiming breakdown video or like a how to play assault properly video, how to play engineer the right way video, I'm down. Just let me know in the comments the most liked idea for next week. I will do. I'm gonna do videos like this once a week. If you guys like it, leave a like. I don't really ask for that, but I'm not sure how this video is going to do. I'm not sure if you guys are going to even like my breakdown or my analysis, my ideas, whatever the case is. But if you do, yes, leave a like, please. And thank you for watching, and goodbye.